Good morning. It's actually technically still morning, 11:30. I have way more makeup on than I normally do right now because I'm going to work after I make this video. I'm gonna bartend tonight. But before that, it's time to use up some extra groceries, or rather leftover groceries. Ooh, crispy. Okay, we're talking like little to no fresh veggies left, relying mostly on frozen things or canned goods, just bits and bobs, but making it work with what you got left so no food goes to waste. So that's what we're gonna do today. Like rice, stewy thing, just something. Does that not look so good? I think we're gonna prep, like I said, got some leftovers. So something I definitely think worth noting about the end of a grocery trip is that a lot of the stuff to make is gonna require more effort. So I think you get your groceries, you've got some easy things that don't require too much effort. You've got some things that are just like more ingredients to make a meal. But then towards the end of your grocery trip, you're gonna have used all the convenience things already. All the easy grab things or the quick, easy meals, like you've used all those because they were quick, easy meals. Of course, they're gonna be the first things you grab for. So what I like to do is when I have some time, I almost do a sort of a meal prep with the end of my grocery trip. I look and see what I have and what I can make with that, and kind of just use like a Rolodex in my head of recipes and being like, okay, so for example, I have 2 yellow onions left and a bunch of carrots, and those are pretty much the only like fresh vegetables I have left. But in my head, I know a mirepoix is yellow onion, carrot, celery, and it goes very well with chicken, which is something that I have left over. So boom, I'm gonna make something with that. Normally I would like to do like a stewed potato with that as well, but I don't have potatoes left over, so we're gonna use rice or quinoa or some other shelf-stable thing. Also, I don't have the celery for the mirepoix, but it's okay. Like, it's still gonna be a good balance of flavors. Just knowing what things generally go in recipes and also having just an idea of what flavors go well together is gonna help a lot with these things. So that being said, first step is to go through everything you have left and come up with some recipe ideas and make something out of them. Chicken thighs, carrots, onion. I do also actually have in my pantry chicken broth and both a tri-colored quinoa and a rice. I want to use a little bit of both, a little bit higher fiber, more protein, and then rice just because it's good, simple carb. So this is gonna kind of be that first meal that we're gonna make something with. I'm thinking something more like a Dutch oven, like rice stewy thing, just something that's gonna use all these ingredients up in a nice way. Also, normally I would not have fresh herbs at the end of a grocery trip because obviously those go bad pretty quickly, but my gym has a little garden outside and I picked up some rosemary from there, so I have a couple sprigs of rosemary that I think is gonna go delicious in this. Second thing we're gonna be making is a chia pudding. 2 cans left over of reduced fat coconut milk. I like using this just to make it a little bit lighter, but I'm just gonna make one, use one and some chia seeds and make a cherry chia pudding because I do also have some frozen cherries left over. This is gonna be that second thing we're gonna prep. Like I said, got some leftover cherries, and then the chia and coconut milk I pretty much keep in the pantry all the time. Okie dokie, ingredients over here. Gorgeous cutting board from my sister. Okay, so I'm gonna get this heating up. I'm thinking I'm gonna chop up the mirepoix first, get that sauteing, and then kind of move everything to the side and saute the chicken thigh. Then we'll add the broth and the rice and quinoa. Boom. First I'm gonna get this warming up. I think I'm also gonna do a butter base instead of a oil base just to give that a little bit richer flavor. I'll just put it on medium and get it heating up. I'm just gonna wash my carrots. I'm not going to peel them because I don't feel like it, and I actually think it tastes more carroty without peeling them. Boom. I'm gonna kind of slice these on a little bit of a diagonal just to make it a little bit prettier. But yeah, we're gonna do like little carrot coins. And honestly, I actually might just use one of the onions. 2 seems like a little bit of overkill. I'm just gonna dice her up. God, it's just gonna make my freaking makeup run. Whew. Okay, time for the butter. Okay, le butter. This is salted butter. Just a good old honk in there. Gorgeous. And it is a little hot because the butter's browning, so we're just gonna go ahead Dump everything in there. And then we're going to add some salt. We want to start building the flavor in here, so a little bit of salt every time we go. Just about like 3 little pinches. You'll get the hang of it as you go, but it's a big meal. You're gonna need a couple pinches. Okay, next we're gonna do some fennel. I think fennel is delicious with chicken. Always a go-to. Just some fennel seeds. And that rosemary sprig I was talking about. Here she is. Just like slap it a little bit, help start expressing those oils. And then she's gonna go right in. Just whole, so it's easier to take it out at the end. So I'm gonna let this brown for a little bit, and in the meantime, we're gonna cut up that chicken. Cut up the chicken using a separate cutting board because you wanna stay sanitary. And I'm just gonna trim off any pieces like this that are just like fat. I have a lot of friends who are weirded out by touching raw chicken, but I'm like, it's just chicken. Just wash your hands, you'll be good. Gotta know where your food comes from. But yeah, I thought I would talk to you while I chop this just about kind of, yeah, the skill of being able to just put together a bunch of different stuff. It definitely comes with time and just having in your brain, you know, what flavors go together and what different recipes have I made before. It seems overwhelming in the beginning, and I definitely can understand how that is, but I would say just start by, when you go grocery shopping, pick a couple recipes and do those recipes. As you continue to do that, you'll figure out what flavors go with what. You'll be like, it's similar to like, you know, the first couple times you go to a new place, you have to use Apple Maps or whatever, but then you start to just know the way. And it's the same thing with cooking. Like the first couple times you're gonna need a recipe and gonna need some sort of guideline on what flavors go together and what type of seasonings do different types of dishes require, or what seasonings don't really go that well with different stuff. But over time you will know that and just kind of have that in your head, which makes these things way easier. And know that most recipes are really just, I'm talking cooking, not baking, but most recipes are really just suggestions of things to add. You don't have to add those specific things. Or you can leave stuff out. Like, I mean, I would know what are the giant flavor components, taste your ingredients, know what is flavorful, and what, if you leave it out, is gonna make a big difference. But for example, with this dish, leaving out the celery, yeah, it's gonna make some flavor difference, but not crazy, not anything that will be inedible or not still delicious, especially when I season it properly and develop the flavor via browning and all that type of stuff. And I went ahead and washed my meat cutting board pretty much right away because 2 reasons. Obviously, I don't want the meat salmonella-ridden, diseased parts to dry on here, but also 2, cutting boards don't do well being wet, especially wooden cutting boards, that is. They also don't do well being dropped. Okay, Slay, so look at what we've got going on here. You can see a good amount of browning. I like to like kind of stab the carrot just a little bit and see that it's got a good amount of softness happening as well. So we are gonna go ahead and move these things to the side and put our chicken in here. Lay chicken. Gorgeous. And again, I'm gonna salt the chicken. Meat always needs more salt than you would think. Perfect. And then I'm also gonna go in with a little bit of garlic powder. I would do fresh garlic if I had it, but girl, I don't have it. So garlic powder. Put it all on the bottom so that it gets to sear a little bit. And in the meantime, we're gonna get our rice ready. I'm just gonna measure these out kind of by however much looks good. I feel like 200 grams looks right. 207 gram white rice, Jasmine, our favorite. And then we're gonna do some of this quinoa for nutrients. I'm gonna just do a little bit of this because I really don't like quinoa that much, to be totally fair with you. We'll see. I'm gonna do, I'll do 100, okay? 100 grams of this, 200 grams of the rice. No, I'm doing 80, that looks like a lot. 80. 80 grams of quinoa, gorgeous. Okay, we're gonna rinse those and then we're gonna put this le chicken bone broth in with that. Very, very delicious. And 21 grams protein just from adding this. That's kind of insane. Okay, that's gonna stay in here until the chicken's done, what's the word? The fuck? Why can't I think of it? Browning, sauteing, getting a little crispy. So, and don't forget to wash your hands because that had chicken juice all over, remember? Don't forget, cross-contamination. But in the meantime, I'm gonna put everything away back where it goes. to it not looking like a nuclear bomb went off when you're cooking is to clean as you go. I cannot believe how many people don't do this. It's probably why you don't like cooking. It's because you don't clean as you go. My other cutting board that I cut my carrot and onion on, I just wipe off. I wash this like with Dawn soap every couple of uses, but I like to not wash it most of the time because it's just not good for the wood. Also, I realized I have some peas that also need to get used up, and like peas and potatoes, rosemary, chicken, like this is where you just get creative. It goes with it. Why wouldn't it go with it? Those are all flavors that people eat all the time. So just think about memorable dishes in your brain, things you've had at restaurants, and then go from there. Like, boom, easy. So I am gonna add some of these, but at the very end, because these will get mushy as F. The carrots are already getting a little mushy, honestly, but that's okay. We're good, it's fine. Quinoa and rice. Gorgeous. Bone broth. It says you can open this like a milk carton, but I have not had the success of being able to do that. Tear along the line. Damn it! Oh my God, this is a milk carton for fucking Superman. I got it open though, period. Period. Broth in. Slay, mama. I'm just gonna push everything down so it's below the surface of the broth. And, oh, hello. I'm gonna cover her and set a timer. How long? 15 minutes. Hey Siri, set a timer for 15 minutes. Girls got my back every time. Okay, now it's time for the chia. This one is pretty freaking easy, pretty self-explanatory. I like to do either a 1-to-3 ratio or a 1-to-4 ratio for chia pudding. I think I'm gonna do a 1-to-3 on this one to make it a little bit thicker, just because I'm adding the cherries, which are gonna add some more liquid as well. So we've got 1/4 cup times 6, 1.5 cups. Okay, 1.5 cups of this shit. Then, because that was 1.5 cups, 3 halves, so we're gonna do 1/2 cup of chia pudding, or chia seeds, which I think might be more than this, but I have more in the fridge, so we're good. And then you're gonna stir them immediately. Do not wait, because they will clump up and not come back apart, so stir. Stir her, please. Okay, so what we're gonna add is a pinch of salt and some stevia to make it a little bit lighter, you know, skinny queen. I would use maple syrup as well, but I just, like I said, I want this to be a little bit of a lighter recipe, and I'm already using coconut milk, which makes it a little heavier. All right, this is just plain unsweetened stevia. Just kind of do it to taste. I did like a couple squirts. It's already starting to thicken up. So once you do that first stir, give it a second to sit for like a minute and then stir it again, because otherwise you will be burned. And then let's add some cherries in there. I'm gonna do a good amount because I want her to be high fiber queen. That's 400 grams. I feel like that's a good amount of cherry to a chia ratio. This is gonna go in the fridge. We're basically just waiting for the chia seeds to thicken up and the cherries to thaw, and that's gonna create the perfect texture. So we have a little bit of steam coming out of here. I'm hesitant to open it just because I don't want the steam to not be able to do its job, steam the rice and such, but I still have only 3 minutes left on the timer. I'm thinking let's open her up. Make sure nothing's burning, you know? Oh, looks good. I actually think that quinoa added a really beautiful touch, so that's good. I'm already feeling like this is probably gonna need a little bit more salt. Like I feel like I can just smell it needs more salt. Look at these salt and pepper shakers we got at the Asian Mart the other day. Oh my gosh, this is a little ramen bowl. It is ramen, not pho. Ramen, and then a little soy sauce. Cute. That's actually freaking delicious. Hello. It does need a little bit more salt, just a tad though, not as much as I thought. That's why it's always important to taste. And definitely need some more garlic. I'm gonna close it back up and give it like 6 more minutes, and then we're gonna add our peas in. But yeah, we can go ahead and check on our chia now that we just checked on that. So it's definitely already thickened up a lot. Blizzard test. Imagine if it just like all fell out. Also, I think some of that is just like the fact that the cherries were frozen. So yeah, it's a little bit frozen, which that will go away and it'll melt a little bit more, add more liquid, such and such. This obviously doesn't have a ton of protein, but it is sweet, got a lot of fiber, got some healthy fats. So this is a great thing to pair with some Greek yogurt, which I do have 1 tub left of. Okay, I'm gonna check with you basically when shit's done. This looks fucking amazing. I literally went off, so I would just like to show you guys. Does that not look so good? I added the peas, I'm not even kidding you. I added them in and then took that shit off the heat, mixed it up because that's how much time they need. I had to take a thumbnail picture, oh my God. I feel like Trisha Paytas with the mukbang. Yeah, so I slayed that shit. This literally looks so delicious, so nourishing. And the peas added a good amount of fiber and protein. Just looks so good. I am in awe. Wait, I just cleaned everything up and plated it up. I got the rest of my Diet Pepsi, close this, and here she is. Does that not look freaking delicious? I'm so excited to eat this. Here we go. Mmm. It was hot. That was so good. Mmm. The carrot added a lot of nice sweetness and it's nutritious as well. This serving, I did track everything on here so you guys could know. 35 grams of protein and 444 calories. So a good ratio, 59 carbs, 7 fat. So a good ratio nutritionally as well. Also, I have all this left over and this that I made Jordan. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope it gave you some ideas, gave you some inspiration to like get in your cupboard and make some stuff work, help save you money because you're not wasting food and you're delaying how long you can go between grocery trips, so, but still eating at home, eating nourishing things. If this was helpful for you, if this was your thing, if you're into fitness, wellness, nutrition, cooking, lifestyle type of videos, that's what I do. So subscribe. I would love to see you again, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.